Hi there, I'm Barbara Watson, and I am hoping that you are here. Okay, I'm just making sure Facebook is working and then we will get started. Facebook has just given me a new live version, so I'm working with it. I think we're going. It tells me we are. So if we're streaming, say hi when you come in. If you're watching this on Facebook, say hi. Let me know that you can hear me. I assume you can if you're watching this on YouTube. If this is the type of content you're looking for, then just click subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll get it. Now, I think we're working as well. So what we're going to do here in this video is take a three parts. First of all, what is spiritual bypass? And it's a huge topic, but I'm going to break it down. Number two, why do you need to avoid it? Number three, tips on how to avoid it. And that's going to be the majority of my presentation today. So I am Barbara Watson. I have been teaching meditation for decades. I've done all kinds of things. I got a website you can check out if you want to know that. And I want to dive right in though now. And if you know anyone who can use this information, your mother, your sister, your brother, your BFF, whoever it is, just feel free to click that share button and share this right now and make sure that they can get this information as well. Now, number one, what is spiritual bypass? As I said, it's a huge topic introduced developed a lot by James Wedmore, and there's quite a bit to it. In essence, it means using your spiritual beliefs, your spiritual gifts, and avoiding your feelings as you do so. So, in stress reduction, which is what I'm dealing with, stressless wellness, stress management, and meditation, what that devolves down to is treating meditation often as a time out, which is not what meditation was designed to be. So, treating it as a timeout, you might say, oh, I've got so much going on right now. I'm feeling so awful. I don't know what I'm feeling. I just need to relax. I'm going to meditate. Now, if you say that, yes, it's true. There is a component of relaxation to meditation, but they are very different. Meditation and relaxation are different. There is research to support this, and that the benefits of meditation, the full benefits of meditation, cannot be achieved by simply relaxing. So, treating it as a timeout, what that does is allow you to avoid your feelings. So, listen up, because meditation is really designed to be a time in, to allow you to get in touch with your feelings, to acknowledge them, to process them. You accept what you're feeling. So, more about that in a bit. Number two, why do I need to avoid spiritual bypass? Well, let's back up a bit. If you have done some meditation at any time, you know you've heard the word thoughts. And thoughts in meditation is a rubric. That means it's a word that encompasses a lot of other things. Yes, it talks about the thoughts in our minds that we normally think about as thoughts, but it also means and encompasses anything that arises in your awareness that is not the object of your meditation. So, thoughts again as we think of them, but images, colors, sounds, smells, etc. Anything along that line. Sometimes when you meditate, you are meditating on a specific object or a specific question, etc. Anything else other than that that arises is a thought. Other times when you meditate, you're just sinking into silence and you're very open to whatever arises. And again, you're letting it pass through at that point. What happens with thoughts as they come closer to you, geographically or emotionally, they tend to hook you a bit more and they become more difficult to deal with. So, for example, I'm sitting here. You can see where I am. I'm outdoors. There's a roadway back up there behind me. There may be people walking along that road. There may be cars driving on that road or anything else there. And that's just external stuff. It's not stuff that I need to pay attention to, external clutter, if you like. If you're on the 16th floor of an office building or an apartment building and you've got your windows open, maybe you'll hear the traffic below. But again, that's external. It's not something you need to pay attention to unless something happens, like a siren, for example, or something to hook your attention. Then you might go over to that window to take a look. If back on this road, up behind me, somebody were to stop and call my name, that would hook my attention. So that's getting closer emotionally, not geographically, it's in the same place, but emotionally. And so it tends to hook me just a bit. And there's a whole spectrum here. Now, if someone were to walk down and stand here right beside me or sit here right beside me, there's a chair here, that would hook my attention too. So that's geographically closer. Okay. So there is this business of getting closer to you emotionally is something you really need to understand, because the next thing that you might get into that's even harder to manage is an emotional evaluation of your experience. If you're meditating, you might think, wow, this is great. You're evaluating it. You're getting hooked a little more when you do that. And then maybe even some insight, psychological insight. Wow, I have to remember how to get back to this. Well, actually, no, you don't, because your body will remember. But again, that's an insight that hooks you just a bit more. When, as the spectrum gets closer, as these thoughts get closer emotionally, often people will have internal insights, emotional internal charges. Something that happened, I will have people in a meditation class tell me, I had something come up that I thought I dealt with 10 years ago, and there it was again. So these are those insights. They are charges, they're buried often, and they're usually negative, and they can be decades old because the body holds what the conscious mind wants to forget. There's a saying in meditation, the issues are in the tissues. So again, according to this theory, if you don't deal with the issues as they arise, they'll stay in your tissues and they'll just wait for the next opportunity to come up and to arise within you. If you do deal with the issues as they arise, you acknowledge them, you accept and process them, then you can move through them and take away their power over you, if you like, and that empowers yourself when you do that. You learn to tame that monkey mind, to experience that oneness, to live at, love, and above 500 plus Dr. David Hawkins consciousness scale, which I won't get into in more detail here, but it's part of the teachings. And what you do as time goes on in meditation, you learn to self-regulate those thoughts, again, as a rubric, and to integrate them. So you meditate and you come out and live your life, and you meditate and come out and live your life, etc. And over time, you integrate those thoughts, and things that were once, really chaotic, a crisis, they become less so as time goes on. So number 3, tips. How do you avoid spiritual bypass? Well, in meditation, if you've taken classes, you have probably heard the instructor say, when thoughts arise, acknowledge them and let them go. When they're ready to go, release them. They may be ready to go right away. They may want to hang on for a bit, or they may be released and then come back and keep returning, in which case you need to go back to your mantra to help with that. And in some cases, you may need to go further. With these cases where you have this, the emotional triggers, the internal emotional buried charges that come up, it may, and this is your decision, it may or may not be something that you want to come out of your meditation and deal with, or perhaps, and then go back to your meditation later, or perhaps if you can acknowledge and release them and then realize that they might come back again and release them again, that may work better for you. But again, it is up to you. The important thing is not to resist your feelings. Acknowledge them so that you can process them. What you resist persists. So you do not want to resist your feelings. Okay? So now while you're sitting here with me, just do some deep breathing. Take a deep breath in, internal, through your nose, as long as you can breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. And again, just do another deep breath, breathing in, keep it comfortable. Make sure always that in meditation, comfort is key. Do only what is comfortable for you. Listen to your body. Deep breathing, and a third time, breathing in and breathing out. So, number 1 in the tips, and there are several tips here, I'm going to go through a series of questions to ask yourself to help you to process your thinking. And then we'll move into some other tips as well. Now, some of you have had the life purpose meditations that I teach. They're advanced, so you've seen some of these questions in the past. First thing after you breathe is just let the breathing go. It'll continue. Put your attention on your heart. And then ask yourself some questions. So, what are you feeling right now? And this is your first question. With your attention on your heart, close your eyes to help internalize the process more. And just ask, what is it that I am feeling? What am I feeling? Now, an ancient sage said that the two main feelings are anger and fear. And if you picture yourself on a river traveling down, the two banks of the river are anger on one side and fear on the other. And according to his theory, what you feel is some component of anger or fear. However, you may label it differently and label it any way you wish to label it. Sadness, anxiety, guilt, worry, whatever it is, it's all good. It is for you to label. So, what am I feeling? When you ask the question, don't insist on getting answers. You've put your attention on your heart. So, let your heart answer. It will guide you. Let your heart guide you. And just see what arises. What am I feeling? Now, what you want to know is, where am I feeling it? So let's say, for example, you bring up some issue that caused you a bit of sadness, just a bit. I don't want to go major here because we're just going through a process and learning a process. You can take this process deeper with deeper issues later on, but some little tinge of sadness. Okay, what am I feeling? Sadness. You've identified that. Next question, where am I feeling it? Now do a body scan, head to toe, because what you want to do is identify where you're feeling this sadness in this example, or whatever it is that you are feeling. We're using sadness. Body scan starting in the head. Just bringing your attention to your head, inside your head, around your eyes, the muscles there, down your cheeks, around your mouth, your tongue, your jaw. And you can do this body scan in your neck. You can do it simply and quickly or more slowly, whatever works for you. And just identify where you feel different. And that difference, people identify it in various ways. I mean, you could feel heavy or dense or thick, or you may have some tingling or just palpitations or little butterflies in your stomach or whatever, because you're going down from your neck, your shoulders, do your body scan down your arms, elbows, hands, see what's happening in your hands, if they're clutched or not. And just, you can actually relax as you go too. Now bring your attention back up your arms, around your torso. Just go around your torso, move down, around the abdomen. Feel where you're feeling different. So you've identified what you're feeling. Now you want to identify where you are feeling it so that you can deal with it. Moving down your legs and around your knees and around your calves, your ankles, and your feet. And just identifying where you're feeling a little different. You might want to grab paper and pen and make some notes at this point as well. Now, next question. You've identified the feeling, you know where you're feeling it. Next question is, well, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What's it trying to teach me? Why is this here for me, in other words, is what you're saying. What is it trying to tell me? And again, just ask the questions. Let the answers arise from your heart. This is not an intellectual exercise. You don't want to bring the answers from your head. Let the heart answer. Next question. Okay, what does this mean for me? Is there something that I need to do? And then what do I need to do? Or is there something I need to stop doing? And what is it? So these are your series of questions. You can go back over this video later with your paper and pen and just jot them down. And you may have other questions that you want to throw in there too, and that's fine. Next question. What is just one thing that I could do or that I could stop doing to change my current reality, to change this so that I would feel different, right? And the next question, when will I do or stop doing this one thing? Now, some of you have taken the assessments in some of my courses where you're asked exactly these questions as you begin so that you can know where to proceed in my courses. And when you ask, when will I do this? Sometimes it's right now, but sometimes that might not be available to you. It just might not be where you're at right now. So again, just ask the question, let your heart answer as to when you can start or stop doing this one thing. One thing that might happen, and it might help, is to realize there's a saying, this is happening for me, not to me. So how can I process what's happening to the highest good of myself and others? This may very well be a growth opportunity. Growth sometimes doesn't happen too easily. So staying open to that and staying curious, which I've been known to say quite a bit in my teaching as well, as to what might be available to you, what might become available to you, is really important. So as far as tips go, that series of questions, that's a lot of tips right there. However, I want to point out as well that in the beginning, I suggested you breathe. Part of that was because I want you to be centered, to be grounded before you begin. And breathing is one way of centering yourself, of grounding. You can ground other ways as well. And that's your whole sense of stability and security and belongingness, belonging and feeling welcome in a place. So grounding is really important because that stabilizes everything. It's the foundation. For those who are into chakras, it's a function of the root chakra. But again, that's beyond what we're discussing today. Now, you could also ground, if you're outdoors as I am, you could have your bare feet right on the earth. And yes, I do have my bare feet on the earth because I do that. And sometimes I'll do videos and ask people, so do you think I'm barefoot or not? And yeah, they get to know me, so they know I am. You can also, so breathing, bare feet on the earth, there are many ways of doing it. Send down a grounding cord. Again, these are things that are covered elsewhere, and we can cover them at another time. Now, another tip, time in. Remember that. Connect with your feelings so you can process them. The most effective thing to do is to acknowledge the emotion, whatever it is, sit with it, honor it. In this way, you're honoring it without repressing it. And you'll find this is done a lot in meditation. These techniques are centuries old. They come down to us from Eastern concepts, and some of the Western melded into it as well. Remember, meditation is a journey. That's another tip. It's not a goal. Okay? We're not looking for a goal. And that would be to intellectualize it. We're looking to journey, to reduce stress, to put the brakes on that monkey mind, as I was saying, to get to know yourself. As you go deep inside yourself to your core, you get to know yourself a little more deeply. And to feel the oneness, as I said earlier, of everything. And just again to have a loving, joyful, peaceful life. And this is the 500 and above mentioned, that Hawkins scale that I mentioned. Love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Again, that's different teachings. Anybody who's interested in the different teachings, you can just click on the banner across the top of the page if you're on Facebook, and you'll be able to see all of the different things the courses that I have available. And you can click and view the curriculums, things like that. Now, the main point here is to avoid spiritual bypass by acknowledging your feelings, by accepting them. Don't resist them, accept them, and process them so they can't keep returning to haunt you. Again, you got a BFF, your mom or your sister or brother or anyone else who can benefit from this. Go ahead and share it. Love to have you do that. And YouTube, click subscribe if you're looking for more content like this, and the notification bell. Happy to have you join us anytime, so feel free to return here anytime. Let me know what you need. I'm taking questions. I've answered some questions already that had come in before, and I don't see any others right there. So what I'm going to do is leave this now. Again, questions, comments, whatever you have, plug them in if you're watching this on the replay, and tag me so that I get them, and I will get back to you. Okay, it's a wrap for now. See you in the next video. Bye for now.